Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new TV show spoiler review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Denenberg. Today, we are breaking down season 3 of Ted Lasso on Apple TV Plus. Is this the finale, not just of the season, but of the entire show? We're going to break down kind of my general thoughts on the storylines, if the show should continue into season 4 or even spin off shows. We shall see. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell. I do these types of TV show reviews, movie rankings, back to doing that weekly, and also every Monday I do a box office breakdown show. So please subscribe and ring that bell. We're inching closer to 160 subscribers. Let's get there. Please subscribe, ring the bell. Comment down below. First of all, did you like this season of Ted Lasso? Rank this season of Ted Lasso. And do you want to see a spinoff? Do you want to see season 4? Which characters should have stories continue to which people probably should be done with the show? Let me know in the comment section down below. Like the video, the thumbs up button. That's how you support the channel as well. Helps the algorithm out so more people will be recommended for this review. So Ted Lasso is a show that I absolutely loved. And it's a great underdog story where, again, if you're not familiar, again, this is going to be spoilers, though, for all, not just season 1, not just season 2, but obviously this past season 3. So if you've not seen any of Ted Lasso or even season 3, spoiler warning starts now. So it is amazing how the show came from an NBC Sports Premier League sketch almost 10 years ago to now one of the most successful underdog shows of the last 10, 15 years. I still think this show is excellent. It is so heartwarming. It's so positive. I really think this season really touched a core with me as it pertains to mental health and panic and anxiety attacks. Again, to open up personally, it's been something that's been happening to me for years now, either panic or anxiety attack related things revolving around mental health. And I think they really did a great job honoring that this season, but we'll get into that in a second. But overall, I think it's a fantastic show, a fantastic story. So for me, I was excited heading into season 3. And overall, I definitely enjoyed season 3. This show has such a high bar, but I do think it's easily, for me, the weakest of the 3 seasons. Now, still, it's good television, really great television in a lot of the episodes. I just did think there were some missed opportunities there, some wasted characters, subplots. And I'll just get into the overall thing. I think the MVPs for this season for me was Jamie Tart, the owner, played by Hannah Waddingham, who I always forget her character's name as I'm looking at Rebecca, Jamie Tart, and I really think Nate as well as Ted, really got some good things to do this season. Jamie's whole arc, which really shockingly just wrapped up in the second to last episode, then the finale episode, but still, I just love his arc. I love his bromance with Roy. I don't really like what they did with him and Roy in the season finale, but I do like what they did with Jamie leading into that finale, especially with his dad now being in rehab, him seeing his mom, the pressure of playing back at his old, where he grew up. I liked it. Now, a lot of people have been very divisive and I guess negative towards Nate. I think Nick Mohammed did a really good job with Nate this season. Now, I know a lot of people at the end of season 2 was so anti-Nate, and I think it did a good enough job for me bringing Nate back into the fold. I thought the best scene of the season 3 was when Coach Beard, who again was very much anti-Nate for the whole season, then had that whole one-on-one with Nate at Nate's apartment. And he's like, I did this. I could have gone to prison and still Ted had my back. What you did is not even close to like that. And I should have brought you back. And I just liked Nate's story with his girlfriend in the season, the waitress from the restaurant he likes. Now, they didn't do a lot with Nate in the final episode, especially because they actually played the team that Nate coached the whole season. And while I'm happy they put Nate back as a kind of like a busboy type situation where he's just helping out from not from a coach point of view, with Rupert getting on the field, them playing the old team, I would wish there was a little more Nate involved in the season finale from a story point of view. Again, Hannah Waddingham just absolutely slays in this show as the owner. She finally finds some romance. I think they went to like the Netherlands or Denmark or wherever they went this past season, or France, wherever they went. But she's a terrific actress who I really want to see get more acting roles outside of Ted Lasso. She's a good enough actress. She really has proved it in the show, and she really is the heart of AFC. She's one of the hearts of AFC Richmond. It really is both Ted and her. And I think her emotional scenes with Ted down the stretch were fantastic. And I think, yes, Sudeikis is, of course, fantastic as Ted Lasso. And from a script point of view, it's fantastic. But the emotion that pours out of Henning Waddingham's face this season, and really in that season finale, really brought home the emotions of the show towards the season finale. So those characters for me were great. Again, this is a great ensemble. It's one of the best ensembles on television. It's a likable show. It's not depressing. It's supposed to give a good message, positive vibes, and bring awareness to a lot of things. And I just want to say with Sudeikis, the strongest part of his acting in the show for me was when he was doing the panic attack, mental health problems, especially this season, the way he would talk to his wife and his whole breakdown when he talked to his mom about how his mom, that they did a lot of good things about the next older generations, that the older generations just thought to themselves that they're just too tough to have therapy and to have a therapist, and how Ted grew up in that environment, and the fact that he didn't even want to tell his mom about that. Those storylines for me really worked. And I think it's a really authentic performance, which again, as I said, I opened up personally. I have some anxiety panic attacks, and for me, that really resonated with me from a performance point of view and from a story point of view. The things that Ted was going through in the first half of this season. Now, overall, though, I do think this overall season was a missed opportunity, especially a season finale. This is a show that, again, started out as a plain 30-minute comedy back in season 1, where even the longest episode of season 1 was its finale, which was 34 minutes. You then move into season 2, and the longest episode of that season was the finale at 49 minutes with credits. And I do think that this season wanted to pack a lot in, and I think it was just too much. The episodes were the shortest episode of season 3 was the first episode of 43 minutes. I mean, these were long episodes. The last 3, there's 4 episodes that went an hour plus. There were a couple episodes that went 50 minutes or plus. I just think the show kind of lost its tone and consistency because the length of the episodes just felt so all over the place this season, and it dragged because there was a lot of unnecessary storylines going on. And sadly, it was with one of my favorite top 2-3 favorite characters on the show, with Juno Temple's Keeley, who is a scene stealer in the first 2 seasons. Again, Juno Temple is great in the show, but the whole subplot with her and Roy breaking up instantly here in season 3 just felt a forced way to have them have something to do this season. The relationship with her boss, Jack, just I never thought was that interesting. The subplot with her friend Shandy, just it didn't add up to anything with her getting a satisfying conclusion at the end of the season. And we end with I think, a horrible scene where Jamie and Roy are just completely idiots and try to go to her house asking to pick one of them who she wants to be with. And I just didn't find a satisfying conclusion to her and with her and the 2 of them, and to those 2 other subplots earlier in the season. They just didn't feel unnecessary. And while her and again, Hannah Waddingham have fantastic chemistry, the 2 of them kind of have their usual, woman talk. It's a lot of fun. There's some fun jokes and they have great chemistry. But other than that, I just felt like Keeley was completely wasted this season. And I feel like all of the unnecessary things came with her subplots and her character, which was, I think, a big misfire for the show. With the season finale itself, which kind of let me flat, as I said, that horrible scene did happen. I did not think that they needed to play Rupert's team again. I think we keep beating around the bush of Rupert having to get beaten by Rebecca every single season. And it just doesn't feel satisfying because they just do it 1 time and then 2 times and 3 times. It feels like we've beaten Rupert like 4 or 5 times now in the show. I just think it was a bit overkill. And Rupert already lost. To begin the episode, they had the files of all the women, of all the assistants who went up to Rebecca. We had all these court cases and basically got Rupert out of owning the team, but then we still had to beat him, and then he had to embarrass himself on the field. It just felt like there was too much Rupert in the season finale. That once the files came out public with the women, that was it. That was the victory. That was satisfying, not just beating his team again. I really liked the Trent Grimm addition to the season as like being a part of the team. The Colin storyline was great for the first half of the season. Then there's a couple episodes where they just kind of forgot about that was a subplot that was going on. Um, I wish we got more of Sam and the Nigerian restaurant. But again, this is still a really good season of television. But again, I think the first season set such a high bar. I really liked season 2 as well. I think for me, my ranking would be season 1, then 2, then 3. I do think 3 is the weakest, just because there was glaring, fixable mistakes. And I didn't think the season finale for the show just needed to be an hour and 15 minutes long. Um, it was too long of an episode. And then the previous week was an hour and 10 minutes. This is not an HBO drama. Um, I just think that Ted Lasso, I think comedy, a lot of people had just gone in recent years have forgotten about how effective 30-minute television is. And you can do all these grand storylines in 30 minutes. And you see shows like Barry and Abbott Elementary and The Bear really execute 30-minute storylines well. And this show has gone beyond that. An hour 15 is 45 minutes longer than where we begun the season back in season 1. I think the 30-minute episodes really fit this show more. I just thought it was a drag the last couple of weeks because the episodes were trying to pack so much in. Overall, for me, on the future of Ted Lasso, it's a very interesting one. They kept the entire team together, other than Ted, obviously, with Rebecca not giving up the team to ownership, her keeping 51 or whatever it is, 51% of the team. Roy is the head coach. So they do have an opportunity here. I do think if there's any story to keep going, honestly, would not include Ted, which I find interesting. I don't know if they would do a spin-off show with just the characters back in England and then just leave Ted out of the show back in the United States. And that's another question a lot of people are saying is there a show without Jason Sudeikis? Yes, this is a great ensemble. And yes, Ted probably isn't one of your 2, 3, even top 5 favorite characters on the show. But if they take him away, as they did this at the end of the season, and they just do a full AFC Richmond with Roy as the head coach type season with no Jason Sudeikis on screen, is that going to hurt the show? Is he truly again, they say he's the heart and soul of that club. That could mean the same thing for the show as a whole. So I'm very fascinated what they do. Obviously, Apple TV will probably die for some more Ted Lasso. This is by far and away what, first of all, got Apple TV Plus on the map, was this show. And this probably got most of their subscriptions to the show. They have a lot of great shows, but this really got them in the streaming wars type situation of a great show, of great hit that really blew them up. But it's their most successful show by a lot. If you look at the Nielsen ratings, no Apple TV shows ever get into the top 10, original or acquired. It's always Ted Lasso that is in the top 10. So this is their show. I'm sure they do not want to stop making Ted Lasso. Even if it's not a season 4, if it's just like a spin-off show with 1, 2, or 3 of the possible characters. So overall, I'm very mixed on if they should continue on. Obviously, I would like to see Roy as the head coach and continue watching that journey. But also, I would feel nervous if they do that show, Ted's not in it, and the show there's something missing. You don't want to drag things on too much. I think we all want Ted Lasso to maybe come back. There are times with all great shows that they just need to end. And I'm very interested to see if the writers led by Jason Sudeikis and even Jason Sudeikis and Brendan Hunt, who was Coach Beard, if they want to continue writing too. Is Sudeikis, does he want to write the show if he's not on screen? I'm sure money isn't a thing because they all got paid, especially Sudeikis, a lot of money for this past season by episode. So I'm very interested to see what they do with Ted Lasso. There's been no announcements of a renewal or spinoffs. That's been kind of the big discussion around this season. They did not say on Apple TV Plus that it's a series finale. They just said it's a season finale. So they definitely left the door open for more Ted Lasso. But I'm not sure if that might be the right idea. So that's my overall thoughts. It's not a disappointing season. I just wish there was clear and obvious missed opportunities and wasted moments in this season that I just didn't find that many cracks in the previous 2 seasons. It was a good season, but not a great season for me. And I think the show should have just stuck to its 30 to 40-minute timeline instead of going to well over an hour for its last couple episodes. So that's my spoiler thoughts on season 3 of Ted Lasso. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? What if there's a spinoff show? Who would it be around? Do you want to see season 4 even without Ted? Let me know in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe, ring the bell. I'll see you guys soon.